So, you know it's possible to use the extrude tool to make cuts and remove material. But if you plan on drilling holes that are a standard size for either clearance holes or hardware, the hole feature can make that process much easier. I'll go ahead and launch the feature from the Modify panel on the 3D Model tab to bring up the Hole Properties dialog box. The reason the hole feature is better for standard size holes is that many hole types are already predefined here in the dialog box. All you have to do is choose the correct hole type, size, and termination behavior. Before I dive into those, however, I'll expand the input geometry options and get started by positioning the hole. I'll first select the face I want the hole to go into, the front face for now, and then I can freely change the hole's position by clicking and dragging the center dot. Additionally, I can snap it to the center point of an arc, circle, or cylinder by selecting the geometry, as well as lock it in place at a precise position by selecting an edge and typing a distance. Since I only set a dimension from one edge, the hole still has a degree of freedom, and I'm able to drag it. But I can fully constrain it by selecting another edge and adding a dimension to fully constrain it. Note as well that multiple holes can be placed one after another by simply clicking the face again, but only the active hole can be positioned by clicking Edge Geometry. For this example, I want to add one hole to the top rectangular face here, so I'll clear the selection in the Position selection box and place a new hole on the face near this right corner. I'll leave the position floating for now and move on to cover the type options. The type is determined by the hole and the seat. The hole type options let you choose if you want to use a simple hole with a single diameter, a clearance hole, which lets you select from standard fastener types, a tapped hole, which adds threads, or a taper tapped hole, which gives a different set of thread options. The seat options then allow you to add a counterbore, spot face, or countersink top to the hole. Note that each of these options will update the preview in the behavior options and that the counterbore seat isn't available with a taper tapped hole. For this lesson, I'll use a simple hole with a counterbore seat, then move on. The behavior is how the final shape and depth will be determined, and the termination options here let you determine the hole's end condition. Selecting distance will add a drill point option and update the preview, while through all will cut completely through the material in the selected direction. The to option brings up a surface selection box and will cut the hole up to the selected surface no matter what updates are made to the design. For this lesson, I'll use the through all termination type. Then use the direction options to make sure the preview arrows are pointed into the part body. To set the dimensions for the hole, I can either click on the dimensions here and type in a value, or click and drag the circles and arrows in the drawing area to change them visually. For this hole, I'll use a counterbore diameter of 10 millimeters, a counterbore depth of 3 millimeters, and a hole diameter of 6 millimeters. The last options in the advanced settings allow you to automatically add an eye mate or extend the start so it cuts through any fillets or geometry that may be above the place the hole was placed on. I'll leave them deselected for now, and finally add the hole. To do that, I can either finish this and start a new hole by clicking the plus icon, or close the dialog box by clicking OK. I'll click OK, and the hole is added to the feature tree, with the sketch used to position it placed inside the feature. Editing either the sketch or the feature will let you change the hole's placement or type and termination options respectively. And as a final note, the standard selected in the dialog box will automatically be pulled into any drawing you make with this feature, which is something I'll cover in more detail later in this course.